Everyone. I'm Neil Clyde Co. I'm one of the co-founders of Arka, the Art of Agriculture. I'm proud son of a farmer. 3 years ago, I met Nanay Hini, hardworking farmer. But I felt her struggle and challenges. Made me ask why. Why these farmers are struggling and in deep poverty. 30% of our farmers, based on the PSA data, these farmers are in deep poverty. These farmers are our strong heroes that feed us. Based on our data, based on our research, we found out that the cause of this problem is the broken system of agricultural food system and the high impact of climate change, making farming harder and harder for smallholder farmers. Makes me wonder and worried about how can I feed my family and the country if these farmers are struggling. I form a team of engineers, scientists, agriculturists, and entrepreneurs, finding solutions for this problem. We come up with Arka ecosystem, an ecosystem, a solutions that solve the broken system. Arka ecosystem, it's an agri supply chain platform that connects farmers direct to businesses while creating tech, nature, and science-based solutions. So I came back to Nanay Hini. We invited them to Arka, onboarded them to Arka system. Because now they are members in the community. They get to access the benefits of our ecosystem. From the technology, from the trainings, and even we provide Nanay Hini, the smart rain shelter, where she can now focus on what she do best, which is farming and taking care of her plants. After she get the produce, our agri supply chain platform handles, processed, packed, and delivered to our clients. You will see some of our clients here, Abaca, Leilam, and these are happy clients. For the past 2 years, Arka ecosystem shows a tremendous result. We garnered almost 20 million of revenue for the past 2 years. We produced 150 tons of kilograms of vegetables and avoided waste of 30 tons. And most of all, we were able to create opportunities for these agri-farmers, 1,000 farmers. We want to replicate this in the key cities in Cebu City and areas in Bohol and each region in the Philippines, supplying 200 tons per week in contract. With the 200 tons per week, we will serve. Potentially, we will have 16 million sales per week, and 100,000 of farmers will be impacted. Let me close this story. This is Ma'am Maria, the daughter of Nanay, successful, now an agripreneur, supporting 200 farmers in her community. This journey, it's not just a change, but this is a promise of hope that fulfilled. We want to invite you to build more Arka villages in our communities and onboard more farmers and create hundred thousands of jobs for our Filipinos. Because these unsung heroes will feed us. Thank you, everyone, and good afternoon.
Hello. Thank you so much. Now we proceed to the question and answer about the arc of agriculture.
I've seen your slide where you have all these, the tons you produce, the farmers you've helped. What will be the next scale level you're looking for? And I guess if you win this contest down the road, what would you be using the investment for?
Expansion to other areas. Because the concept of Arka is very simple. To make each and every island self-sustaining. Meaning we don't need to rely on other places for our own food consumption. We grow our own food, Bali.
And I guess it's a similar discussion we had with one of the proponents earlier today. What's the adoption pain point that you've faced, and how did you actually overcome that?
Plenty, sir. Because with regards to food insecurity, a lot of factors get involved, especially when it comes to the farmers. Now, when you talk about pain points alone, you would think that a farmer living in the mountains is an expert farmer, when in fact we found out that they call themselves farmer because that's the only choice they have. So once we get to engage with them, we find out that their knowledge with regards to farming is very limited. Their technical know-how is close to none, and there's almost no science with regards to how they plant food. Now, look, now we go back to us as consumers. If you want a good building, we try to find the best architects. If we have an ailment, we try to find the best doctors. But when it comes to our food, who do we look for? Just the traditional farmer who knows nothing. So that's what we're trying to do. We try to upgrade and elevate them.
To add on the adoption is that we're just quite very, very lucky is that we have so many barren land. We have two great resources, barren land, and people are hungry for work. And when we build this one, when we started this, it immediately from 10 families to 40 to 200, it's because they are really looking for an opportunity. And the barren land is just there. And when we build it, we were able to build it fast. And the challenges is the road, but thanks to DA, they provide the farm to market road. So it's the start, but because it's empty and people are hungry for opportunities, it can be easily be adopted.
Sir, what are your revenue streams?
Our revenue streams comes from us, Arka, selling the produce to the restaurants. So you saw our list of clients earlier. So what we do is actually we have a marketing team who approaches the restaurants, hotels, and talks to their chefs. How many potatoes you need in a week? How many cucumbers can you consume in a week? How many cabbages can you consume in a weekly basis? So with all this data we have, we try to get the top demands, and that's what our farmers plant. It's the other way around compared to traditional farming, wherein the farmers only plant what they're used to planting. In this case, we teach them what to plant and how much to plant, so that whatever harvest comes in, it automatically goes to our customers. It's contracted already.
Do you have any assets on your own, or everything is outsourced? And
Assets, technically assets, wala, sir. We have a 37-hectare land, but the land we have, let's say, for example, this one in Lusaran, that's 37-hectare land. We talked to the owner. The owner said that, of course, you can use the land. It's been there. It's been sitting. Then we made an agreement na the land cannot be sold or used as a collateral for the next 10 years because it will be used as for farming activities.
One of the assets that we have is that we design our own rain shelter from scratch. I commend my partner to design it because I said to him, let's buy from China or all those things. And he said, if we buy from them, we will be dependent. And we don't know how to do it because the problem in the mountains is really different. We don't need to build greenhouses. We need rain shelter because that's what we want. So he designed it with our own money. It's so hard for us to build it, but we tried it anyway. Deploy with how many versions? 30 versions. And now we can build it faster with modular type, can be done in 1 week or less, and providing more jobs for people. So knowing how to do it, because we're engineers on our side, she said we should do it. And our wife is glad that they're supporting us, but it's a good thing that we tried it anyway.
So to add on to that revenue question, so you basically the revenue model is that you would sell the produce to these sort of target restaurants that you've sort of built the business, and just put a margin. That's it. That's your revenue model. How about the interaction with the producers? You're talking about technologies. Do you charge them for the
No,
technology, the
we provide it to
advice,
them.
or do you sell them the technology? What's the activity there? Because I assume that's a cost. You said you would.
Yes, there is a cost, sir. But that cost is already covered with what we make from the sales, from the revenue. Because if you come to think of it, traditional selling of produce, a big bulk of that price, let's say for example you buy, let's say for example cucumber, no? A big bulk of that price actually goes to a lot of these middlemen. So what we did is we removed all those middlemen in the middle, then allocated the budget accordingly for technology, for education, and all those stuff, for logistics. So that way the farmers, they get paid weekly for taking care of the plants. They don't need to spend on seeds. They don't need to spend on technology because we provide this for them. All they need to do now is to learn, then apply labor.
And we'll add also is that we're also positioning ourselves as a PPP, public-private partnership. We're glad that the UST is supporting us to build the shelters and deploy it to the cooperatives. We make sure that the funds of the government is get deployed to the real people and build sustainable. As engineers and entrepreneurs, we manage it well and deploy it. And should be sustainable because it has productivity.
Sir, very innocent question. What is the innovation? The shelters? What's
Yes,
the
the shelters.
how is this different?
Okay, so everybody's familiar with greenhouses, right? Now, greenhouses is good for other places wherein there's snow, or it's in a desert, for example, because greenhouses are self-enclosed spaces. Now, if we put that here in the Philippines, your plants will actually die because we have a very humid climate. Now, what we need are what you call shelters, rain shelters, because a lot of people would think that if there's too much sun, the plants will die, wherein actually the main villain of plants are the rains. Because if there's too much sun, you can just water it and it will be okay. But if there's too much rain, then your plants will drown. That's why a lot of our farmers during rainy season, they actually stop planting. They stop planting because it's a gamble for them already. That's assured loss. In our case, because we have shelters, rain or shine, our farmers can continue working. We can expect our produce, especially serving our customers, wherein we need to provide them weekly schedules for the produce. It means to say that our harvest needs to be guaranteed.
I add also in innovation, because farming is not a business. Selling of the produce is business. To create an agri-supply chain platform, that's make it a business. From having the sensors and all these we have this system actually. We put all the requirements from our sales and that we gather the data because we are computer engineers. We are software engineers. We use our skills. But we cannot just solve this issue with just software. We have to build infrastructure. And that infrastructure is needed to produce and use the data. And the processes that we have, that's why our clients are happy because of their handling capability, the forecasting. So it's really the end-to-end solutions, but injecting processes on that, making it more efficient. So it's really entirely an ecosystem solutions because if you just grow and then you don't have a market or you don't know how to value add, you'll not go where. So you have to really bring this produce from the right produce that they need and go directly. So one example, Ultimate Sandwich, you should support her. She has, I think, 2 branch or 3. Now with us, it's expanding. Because her cost is already low. But we don't just provide her the lettuce on this. We provide him the pre-cuts and all this that solves her supply chain problem. And it helps her expand. And that's what happened for other businesses also.
So,
Sir.
in short, ma'am, the innovation is in the entire process po. Because if you're just talking about a shelter, anybody can build a shelter. But the question is, when you build a shelter, can you plant properly? Can you expect a weekly harvest? Can you make sure that after harvest, you have a customer already waiting? So it's the entire supply chain. That's the innovation.
I'm asking po dun sa future of Arka. Currently, you're now targeting farmers, di ba?
Yeah.
I mean, in the provinces, on the municipalities. But how do you see yourself now competing recently on the trend on the urban farming? Kasi
Well-
most of the urban farming now still have that kind of technology you might be using as well. So, check on that, sir. Or maybe you have some plans that you would like to hear.
Actually, we have. If you talk about urban farmers, a lot of them don't have much space. So they can probably harvest 100 kilos today, but when can they harvest another 100 kilos on the same area? In our end, we need mass production, man. So probably the urban farmers, they can sell to their neighbors and whatnot. We don't compete with them because what we're supplying are establishments, not the individual homeowners or families lang. It's a B2B approach.
Sir, the reason why I'm pointing this out to your team currently, sir, because I see the future of your program. Something like, parang naging consultant kayo sa farmers eh. Tama po ba? And in the future, definitely, you may have also to lessen the distance as well on the distributorship of your product. So
Yeah,
you
that's
might
right.
want to see also the future that you want to consider also as a consultant. Parang ang business profile nyo maging part is the consultancy firm.
Yeah, that's true, sir. Actually, not all produce can be produced in urban farm. But like I said, like abaca, they need microgreens. And actually, that's what we're doing now. Because we are now the agri-supply chain partner for these businesses. We make sure that their cost and we provide them efficient supply. Because when this business win, we win. And these farmers win. So knowing the data now that there's a demand of microgreens, we build it and we serve it. And yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, actually, sir, that's our focus now also. Because this microgreens has not to be grown on the farm. It should be on the urban area. So what it will be integrated to the chain that we have.
And also, sir, with regards to the distance you were mentioning, I'll give you a very brief example. No, everybody here knows carrots. Majority of our carrots actually come from Mindanao. Yes. So when you want to eat carrots and there's an issue with logistics coming from the Mindanao, then goodbye carrots. So that's the idea. The idea is for us to be sustainable. Cebu as an island, no, whatever we consume here, why not plant here? You've experienced years before, di ba? Jollibee didn't have, Jollibee here in Cebu wasn't able to supply French fries. Kasi walang patatas dumadating. Di ba? The onions reached about 700 plus. Right now, we're happy with DA who communicated with yung Lusaran Farm that DA is interested in having a pilot project for onion plantation here in Cebu. So all these things that we consume, why not plant it here? And that's the idea also for the other areas in the region in the country.
Sir, we want to commend you for building a very successful business. No? That's admirable. I'm just trying to understand your business model when you say our farmers and you talk about eliminating the middleman. No? Do you employ any of these farmers or do you own any of these farms?
These farms, you don't own them. So let's say, for example, let's talk about Lusaran, the one in the picture, with a lot of shelters. That's 37 hectares. So before we engaged with them, there were farmers already. We talked to them. We told them that for us to work with you, you need to organize yourselves first. So they organized themselves, registered themselves into cooperative. That way, they have governance already. And Arka will now deal with an entity, not an individual farmer. Now, with that, we offer to them, oh, this is what we need for you to plant. Okay, you plant this. Now, from the cooperative, they now choose kaninong farmer i-assign. So, as contract. So, this now becomes contract farming on our end. So that we can maximize and save in cost and maximize efficiency. Instead of you buying your own inputs, since we can buy it in bulk, we'll buy it for you so you don't need to, instead of them buying the fertilizers, pesticides like that, we provide it to them na lang. So what we're now paying them to do is for the care and maintenance of the plants according to designated quota and harvest.
So you actually give them the capital also, or you just say, produce this, we'll pay you after the production.
We pay them weekly po.
You pay them weekly.
Yeah, the farmers.
Okay.
So compared to traditional farming wherein they only make money during harvest time. So that's every 2 to 3 months. In our case, we monitor them, so every week they get paid, depending on their scale.
Okay, 40 seconds left. What's the threat to that business model you have? Because you have this sort of tapestry of different things that has to work, right? You have the demand, you have the contract supply.
Acts of God.
What's the threat there? Could a large food producer come in and just...
They can try.
Acts of God is more of the challenge. That's why we make the shelters stronger and stronger. And actually, we are now helping the farm also to plant more trees to have microclimate. So because these people now are nurturing the land, the more you nurture the land, the more the land is more stronger and can help Cebu City also not in flood. Thank you so much.